So I've done so many different rewards and consequences that it's unbelievable because I have 3 kids and I'm always trying new things in my house. But I'm always working with different families, so I'm talking with other counselors and learning different rewards and consequence systems. Also, just going in and out of classrooms, you see the reward systems that the teachers are using. So I just wanted to tell you really quick one that I'm using right now in my house that I like a lot because it's really, really simple. So on your daily calendar, you can list your children's names or really wherever you want to put it, but this is where I put it. So you can track rewards by just putting check marks. So I have my 3 kids' names listed on my calendars in my kitchen, and I just put a check mark when they're caught being good. So we call it caught being good. So if I catch them being good, I'll say, oh wow, Ben, I really like how you came in on time for breakfast and you sat down and got your breakfast and started eating right away. I really like that you did that. And I'm going to give you a check for that. So then I go on the calendar and I place a check on there because he did something, caught him being good. So what the caught being good does is it forces you, I think, to make positive comments to your kids too. So they need and they thrive off of that so much. So I'm constantly aware of the good things they are doing also. So I'm really trying to catch them doing something good. The other really good thing about that is they hear from each other. So when I say, oh, Anna, I really like that you cleaned your room up without me asking. That is so fantastic. I'm going to give you a check for that. Well, maybe one of her brothers heard that, so then they may be more likely to do that the next time because they heard that she got a check for it. So we have a separate list of rewards that they can get. Once they get 10 checks, then they can choose from a reward system that I have. So we have a list of things, but really they have in their mind what they want. So you can have a list of like picking out a movie, picking out dinner for the night, going to a movie, going to get ice cream, having ice cream at home, choosing the meal, choosing movies, whatever. Extra staying up late, sleeping in the parents' room for a night, whatever. Just try to think of things that is motivating for your kids. So you can have, in my house we have where if you get 10, then they get to choose one of their rewards. So for the consequences, we have a list of household rules. So on a separate sheet, you want to list out all of your household rules. So be respectful of other people, whatever your core family values and household rules are, have them listed out. So I actually have a nail stuck in my pantry door, and I have those little page protectors that I stuck the papers down in and have them hanging there so that I can pull them down really easily and go over the list with the children. But you also can have a separate list of statements of if they do whatever it is, then whatever the consequence is will happen. So on a separate sheet besides where you have listed the house rules and expectations, you're going to list what if they do whatever it is they do wrong, then whatever the consequences will happen. So with your consequences, you really want to make sure that the consequences are related to whatever the thing is they did to get in trouble. So that is the hardest thing to come up with. So I'm always like, what do you think? I'd ask my other children, what do you think would be a good consequence for this? So the goal with this is that you let them, you come up with a consequence, you write it down, you let them know what the consequence is going to be before. Okay, so say if you get on your electronics when you're not supposed to, then you've lost your electronics for an entire day. So if that's going to be my new house rule, I'm going to write it down on my list. If you get on your electronics without me asking, then you lose your electronics for the rest of the day. So I write it down. I'm going to make sure everybody knows. So I'm going to go up to make sure, sit everybody down, tell everybody what the deal is. This is the rule. Then they know what it is. So when they break it, that's the consequence. That's what it is. I use chores a lot. Taking things away, taking electronics away. It's really hard to come up with consequences, but just really get creative with it. One thing that my son was doing was going and pouring sugar all on his cereal at night, or excuse me, well, really, anytime he went to go get sugar, like it doesn't have enough sugar on it, he would go and pour sugar all over it. So I said, so he kept doing it, and I kept saying, stop, but I wasn't having a consequence, so guess what he kept doing? Kept doing it. So I went to him and I said, if you pour sugar on your cereal again, then you will not be allowed to have cereal for the next week. So I have plenty of other options for food. They can have whatever, fruit. So that's what I said to him, and he has not done it again. So that's what I mean about having it related and creative. So get creative with your consequences. Let the kids know what it's going to be before, and then before you get them in trouble, and write it down so that and everyone knows what the consequences are going to be.